Hello and welcome to Palworld. You've got cute little creatures, guns to shoot those creatures, steamless steampunks, stormtroopers with good aim, loot boxes, and flying rocket launchers. And these are the Palpagos Islands, separating the Palworld into 17 different areas, each with their own habitats, unique pals, biomes, and resources. Meet Palho, the man tasked with beating all of Palworld one region at a time. In other words, he's going to be a region-locked Palho. What does being region-locked mean? It means that I cannot leave the current region until I complete all of the goals set for that region. Let's go over these goals. Number 1, I must catch 10 of each PAL native to the region, or inside the dungeons of that region. Number 2, I must defeat or catch static world bosses, whether they are roaming or in an arena. And number 3, I must defeat the tower boss if one is inside the region. Let's go over rule 1 a little bit more. I cannot capture one male and one female PAL and breed the rest. Random eggs in the wild do count towards the 10. And if I catch 10 of a species in a region, I do not need to catch those again in a new region. The first island on our journey will be the Forgotten Island. And let's go over some of the PALs that are going to be found here. Okay, so there are 16 normal PALs that spawn during the day, 4 nighttime PALs that you can only find at night, 4 dungeon PALs that can only be found in the dungeons, and 1 alpha PAL and 1 boss PAL. All the PALs here between level 1 and 15, with the exception of the alpha that is around level 30, and the boss that is level 23. Okay, so for this video, let's set some goals. Let's get the base level 5, catch at least 10 of at least 5 different types of PALs, get our direwolf saddle, and attempt a dungeon. Okay, so we just entered the world, and I think the first thing to do is to find a good base location. We're looking for somewhere kind of flat, with an open area, with access to some trees, some rocks, and some nearby ore. We're not going to need the ore for a little bit, but it is nice to have some nearby for later. Okay, so this spot looks pretty nice. We've got a bunch of trees, a couple of rock spawns, some nearby berries, a flat area, and 2 ore nodes pretty close by. Okay, so instead of punching my way through this entire game, we're going to need some tools. The first 2 tools that we will need are the stone axe and the stone pickaxe. Now, they are the lowest tier tool in the game, but it will drastically speed up any sort of grinding we're going to have to do early. Okay, with our workbench completed, we can finally get all the materials for our 2 tools. Okay, after punching our way through a bunch of rocks, we finally have enough to make the pickaxe, which will definitely help in the future. And with the completion of the stone axe, we finally have both of our early game tools. Before we get to grinding, let's go ahead and unlock some necessities. I'll need the PAL box to set boundaries for the base and put PALs to work, the PAL sphere to catch some PALs, campfire for nighttime and cold, and a chest to store any materials we get. Okay, let's start grinding out some early materials. Some wood, some stone. We're gonna need it for pretty much everything. Oh, hello. Okay. Alright. I guess we gotta fight somebody real quick. Okay. 1 down. 1 to go. Bring it on. I think my only chance is to keep stalling him because he is doing way too much damage. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, I'm out of stamina. Oh, no, 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 no. Come on, just stall one more time. We got this. This is easy money. Okay, off to an early first death. Shit. Okay, these are some of those bad humans I was talking about earlier. They are part of the Ryan Syndicate and are aggressive PAL poachers and black market traders that will attack on sight. They are found all over Palworld, and eventually we're going to have to beat their boss, Zoe, Ryan, in her tower. Okay, so that was a bit inconvenient, but now we've got our stuff back to grinding, back to getting PAL spheres. I kid you not, this was 1 minute later. First the Syndicate, and now these dire howls have come to talk to me. Okay, so how the mechanics work in Palworld is, PALs don't have really an auto attack. They have some abilities that they can use, but once those abilities are on cooldown, they kind of just stand there. So we're going to try and take advantage of that, because we are very early, very underprepared for this. Oh my god, 4 HP. Okay, we got to step our game up a little bit. We got this, right? Okay, so I'm actually doing a pretty good job dodging. The only issue is that when I do get a chance to attack, it is like no damage at all. So we're gonna need to dodge like 1,000 times. Unfortunately, we were not good enough to defeat these, which kind of sucks because these are pretty rare and we are gonna need to catch one, at least one, so we can use the saddle to complete the goal, one of the goals of this video. So clearly we're gonna need some protection. With that in mind, let's go over the two pals that I want to catch first. The Kativa and the Lift Monk. The most important skills for both of them are the handiwork, which lets them help me craft and build whatever I am currently doing, and the respective mining and lumbering skills. So when I leave the base to go catch pals, these two will be mining and chopping for me, and the cat actually has level 1 transporting as well, which will make it so that those materials that they get will be transported to a nearby chest. Okay, and we've just finished our first chest, which will help in the likely event that we do get killed again. So let's just go ahead and put most of our stuff in here. In Palworld, you can eventually automate most things, but because we aren't there yet, having a nearby berry field will cover most, if not all, of our early food costs. Alright, so we've just grinded out some materials for a couple of pal spheres, so let's go out and find ourselves a cat and a lift monk. Here's our first kitty. Let's just go ahead and capture it, if we can ever catch up to it. Okay, nice. First kitty acquired. And here's our lift monk. Should be a pretty easy capture. Okay, it escaped into the water. Surely we can find another one. After what was probably way too long of a time, we found another lift monk. I chased it for a while and then it found some water. And I thought to myself, oh hell no, not again. We're gonna capture this one even if we drown trying. This might be a good time to go over some of the capture mechanics. Most of the time you need the pal to be low HP for the ball to even attempt a capture, but if you hit it in the back, you get what's called a back bonus, which gives the ball a chance to capture no matter how low the chance might be. I caught the first two pals I wanted, so now it's time to return to the base and work on it for a little bit. Since it is nighttime though, we're going to need a way to keep ourselves warm. We can build a campfire, a cloth outfit, or a torch. But because it is nighttime, I don't want to go out and get some cloth, so we're just going to go with a torch and a campfire for now. The thing that makes a base an actual base is the pal box. It sets a boundary on the base, which we can deploy a number of pals to work, with that number based on the base level. It lets us store our excess pals in there, and it lets us craft using materials inside chests within the boundary. Oh, cool, a wandering merchant. They've got a couple of different variations based on the color of their coat, which changes what they sell. And you can actually capture them and deploy them in your base to help craft or visit their shop whenever you want, which would be nice because just buying things like bones or medicine can save a lot of time. Unfortunately, I don't think I can capture him quite yet. For this base, I'm not really going to spend much time organizing it, since it's probably just a temporary base anyway. But let's work on some of the necessities to keep our working pals in good shape. Each one deployed is going to need a bed, and we're also going to need a feed box so they can get some food when they're hungry. So I may not be able to traditionally capture this merchant, but an opportunity has arisen. Maybe we can physically trap him in our base. Okay, nice, we got him. I'm not sure if he's ever going to despawn, but for now, he is ours. Just being able to have one pal working at the base is probably not as efficient as we want, so let's go ahead and finish the goal of getting to level 5 in our base. To get to the next level, we're going to need to make a bed, and to make a bed, we're going to need some cloth. The only way to get cloth is by catching land balls or having them produce it in a ranch. Base level 3 completed. Base level 4 completed. For base level 5, we're going to need a berry plantation, so let's go ahead and unlock that. In order to farm this effectively, we're going to need a pal that can plant, a pal that can water, and a pal that can harvest. Luckily for us, the lift monk does 2 out of 3 of these, so all we need is a water pal. Base level 5 completed. Oh, would you look at that? There's a water pal right here. Awesome. Or not. Ah, damn it. Okay, so we found another one, and with him inside the base, our food production is fully automated. Okay, I swear this is the final thing before we start going out to catch some pals. We're gonna build a ranch. which allows us to, depending on what pal we put in there, get some necessary materials. If we put a chickpea in there, we can get some eggs, but we're going to put the land balls in there for now so we can get a bunch of cloth. Okay, I want to make sure I'm pretty geared up before we go out, so let's go ahead and make some armor, get a couple of pal spheres, and a couple of arrows. Neat. Woohoo! Let's go catch some pals! Wait a minute, what just happened to my lift monk? I had to get back to the base and see what happened, and when I got back there, I noticed that all of my pals had been knocked out. Honestly, I'm not sure what happened. Then my cell ray started attacking something. It was a dire hell. Did this damn dire hell one-shot my entire base? Either way, this is a great chance to get my revenge and capture one. Seriously, getting this saddle is going to be a huge difference maker. During our fight, I put all my pals back into the box so they could recover from fainting and the cell ray would not accidentally kill the dire hell. While waiting for our pals to recover, we went ahead and made our bow and a shield for some extra protection. Since I didn't want to go hunting without my pals working, we went ahead and made a logging and a mining site. They're a bit slower than regular trees or rocks, but they are infinite and it consolidates all the materials to one spot. Now that our pals have recovered and are back to work, we can finally go out and start catching some pals. And that is our 5th flame ball, giving us a nice little experience boost, which is nice because we need level 9 before we can make our direwolf saddle. And with that last chickpea caught, we are finally level 9. We can go back to the base and start making our direwolf saddle. On our way back to the base, we found an eighth which is an upgrade to our logging pals. As level 2 logging is only surpassed by the level 30 memorist, which we probably won't have for a little bit. After finally getting back to the base, I noticed something shining in the distance, and would you look at that? Our first lucky pal hand-delivered to our doorstep. What the hell? This thing does lightning attacks? Oh my god. After a bit of a long fight and a couple of pal spheres, we finally managed to capture our first lucky pal. Nice! Now to build our dire hell saddle. Except that I noticed I was 1 leather down, and the only way I know how to get leather is in a shop or defeating one of these pals. Imagine my surprise when the rarest of the group and the only flying mount available to us dropped right in front of my face. I knew this base was a good spot. We just got a lucky pal 20 seconds ago and now this. We won't be able to build the saddle to ride this until level 16, so let's take this leather and go make our dire hell saddle. I did spot a ruby in the distance and couldn't resist. We don't need any fire pals at the moment, but it will be nice to have one for the future. With our pal gear workbench finished, we finally completed a goal for this video. Dire hell saddle acquired. Well, look who escaped. Let's check the shop real quick. Yep, this is our guy. Alright, he can roam free. For now. The benefit of riding a dire hell is not only that it increases our movement speed, but we actually get to save some arrows by using its abilities to weaken the pals before we capture them. I don't know what happened to the clip, but because getting to level 6 gets us an extra worker spot, and it was just making a statue of power, we went ahead and completed it. As well as a hot spring, which with a bed and some food completes the basic necessities for our worker pals. With our base now working at max efficiency, I was able to grind out 100 pal spheres and 300 arrows. Now let's go use them to catch at least 10 of 5 different pals. I probably won't find 10 of these for this video, but since this will be our only flying mount for a while, we're always going to try and catch these when we find them. There's 3 passes I'm looking for, and they are Swift, which gives 30% movement speed, Runner, which gives 20% movement speed, and Nimble, which gives 10% movement speed. Honestly, any combination of the 3 I would be super happy with. And this also applies to the Dire Howl, which is going to be our fastest ground mount for pretty much the entire game. Let's go! We got our first 10 out of 10 pal. Thank you, Lamball. As we were mass capturing pals, we came across Houdini disguised as a lift monk. 3 times at 72%. Come on, buddy, just get in your sphere. That's it. This time I'm gonna watch you. Okay, good lift monk. Finally. I didn't think I'd ever find these guys. The Rush Roar is actually a great early mining option because unlike the cat, its only work skill is mining, so it's not going to get distracted by other tasks. Yes, we found it. Our last Celery. And with that pal sphere, we have completed 2 10 out of 10 pals. Let's go! Memories are going to be the biggest pain of this island by far, but we've got to play it. Every time we see one and can safely get a back bonus, we're going to go for it. 0.16%? Surely this plan is foolproof. Oh my god, I'm not going to lie, I thought we actually had that one. Yes, our first base raid. I wasn't really going to get over this in this video, but raids actually give me a chance to catch some pals. Otherwise we'd be locked behind some island that we can't get to for a while. I'm really hoping for a flying pal raid because we can catch a beacon, which is one of the fastest flying mounts in the game. And otherwise we'd have to wait like 4 or 5, maybe even 6 islands before we can catch one. We successfully defended against the raid, but unfortunately I was not able to catch any of the pals that I can't capture on any of these early islands. It's fine though. Let's go finish catching 10 of our last 3 pals for this video. And would you look at that? Our last Chickapee was waiting right outside our base for us. 3 out of 5 pals completed. Look who we found here, our wandering merchant friend, with some scary looking guards. I hope he doesn't tell them about the box we tried to trap him in. Hello, Cativa number 10. Would you be so kind as to get in this pal sphere for me? Nice, 4 out of 5 pals acquired. Standing about 10 feet away, we found our last 2 Pangolets. And that's it. Our 5th and final pal of this video is acquired. All that's left for this video is to attempt a dungeon. You know, I didn't realize that we got such a high level during our pal grind, and the boss is only level 13, so it should be really easy actually. I didn't mess with any of the pals or thugs in here, as I kind of just wanted to finish this as fast as possible, so we went straight to the boss room. It's only a level 11 Daydream, so it should be pretty quick and easy. And with that boss killed, all of the goals for this video have been completed. Before I end, I'll go over the goals for the next video and all the pals that we currently have. Okay, here's the list so far. As you can see, we've pretty much completed all of the normal daytime pals, so that shouldn't take very long to finish. The only one that might take a little bit is the Nightwing, just because it is a little bit more rare than the other ones. The other ones that I skipped, I did because even with them being very low HP, it's still about a 20% chance to capture them. So I was going to wait until I upgraded my pal spheres to start really going after those. And finally, we have come to the goals for the next video. I want to finish catching the rest of the pals that we have missed, including the nighttime dungeon, alpha, and boss. So basically just completing the island. And while we're doing that, we want to get out of the Stone Age and upgrade into the Iron Age, giving us access to better pal spheres, equipment, and base upgrades. And lastly, I want to catch another lucky pal. I just wanted to thank anyone who stayed and watched the entire video. I got the inspiration for this from people who did a similar idea in old school RuneScape. I had a lot of fun doing this challenge, and I honestly can't wait for future islands. But I will say that about halfway through, my video editor started crashing, messing with audio levels, and a lot of other infuriating things. So it's not my best creation, but I hope you enjoyed it and come back for more. I'll see you next time on the region-locked Palworld journey.